Alright, you beautiful peoples of the internet, it's me Glyn, Cheapskate Fishing. Down here, normally what I do is spinning, but we're going to do a bit of bait fishing today because I got a load of bait, obviously. And this is on the Tommy Dodd area. If I just do a quick pan, there's a load of, I filmed them earlier, so I'll probably put that up, of the fishermen down on the foreshore there. Again, a place I'd normally just do spinning, simply because these are quite crab rich areas. Now I haven't bait fished this for years, this area here, so I do see the odd one or two guys come in and bait fishing here, so I thought I'd give it a go anyway, you know, mix it up a little bit, mix it up, try things, always trying new things. Oh, and talk about new things, I've got something else to show in a minute. Right, let me just bring this down, just sorting out my rod here. If I can get this clip undone. That's it, clip's undone. Yeah, so also the reason I've come down here is because it gives me a little bit of space. I want to try one of these. In a previous video I said my casting is awful, and it is pretty bad. But one of the reasons is I'm always a bit scared to give it full power because it ends up cutting into your finger. Now you could use a little like glove thing on the end of your finger, but I bought one of these casting cannons, so I've sort of mashed it on here with a bit of tape and a cable ties. They're not in the way, so the ends of the cable ties, so they're not going to scratch or cut me, hopefully. And the way this works is, essentially when you go to cast, you put your wire, I don't know if you'll see this, but you put your wire in there, leave go, and it casts for you. So this is either going to be one of the best purchases I've ever made, or an absolute waste of £6. But there we are, £6, and I'll end up making a complete disaster. So join me on this one as I try out this bait caster, what they call casting cannons. Oh, I've just dropped my bait. Bait's just gone flaying. And as always, we got the old wormies, simply because that's what I can get from the beach. Some nice worms there, actually. They probably didn't appreciate getting dropped on the floor like that. Right, we'll get a rig on, and I'll turn the camera off for now. Right, so here we go, first cast of a casting cannon. Right, apparently load it up first, like so. Flick the bail arm back, make sure it's in the right spot. Well, this is alright. Now apparently it's all about timing. Now it's going to be hard for me to film this and show you, but let's just give it, I'm not going to put a heavy cast on there. So essentially, as I come over on the cast, I'm supposed to let go of my trigger finger here. So let's give it a shot. Oh, okay. Well, that worked. Okay, not too bad at all. Kind of like that. Like I say, that was my first ever one, so I'm in the main channel there now. What I forgot to say is it's actually top tide now, and the tide should just start. Let me check the time. We'll start going out in the next half hour. Now the wind is blowing out to sea, so I don't think the tide's going to rise much more now, because the wind will help blow it back out. So I'm guessing it will go out a lot faster when it comes in. But normally when I've fished here before, it tends to be full of crabs, and I'm guessing that's what's going to grab my bait. Now I have talked to other fishermen that fish along this sort of edge using bait, and they said you can get the on a lucky day you can get the old smooth hound in here, which I thought was quite interesting. So fingers crossed. but personally I don't think I'm going to catch much at all. These low tides would have been great for bringing the spinning rod out, and I've got a brand new spinning rod setup as well, which I haven't I have tried it, but I bought a new reel and I didn't like it, so I've got another reel instead, and I've gone back to the old-fashioned spool reel for it, simply because the rod casts very, very far and I'm finding the bait caster was overrunning. I'll do a future video on that, why I didn't like that certain bait caster. And I imported that from America, but it didn't cost me any import fees, as Amazon seem to be quite good like that at the minute. You can buy a lot of stuff off the Amazon American store if you're a Prime member now, and you can have it imported into UK for free of charge. Anyway, enough rants about this, that and the other. Let's get back to fishing. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm having a bit of a funny problems with my camera. I'm going to have to do a bit of a service on the camera. I think a bit of gunk has got inside the on-off button. So I'm just having to use my remote control for it at the minute. Yeah, I think that's crabs on there already. I can see something nipping at it. The way that's pulling is very much like a crab having a good old little tug on it. Oh well, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be, innit? Right, I'll turn the camera back on if and when anything interesting happens. The old red kite. Beautiful, majestic flight on the bird, isn't it? The way it moves, it's you probably won't see much on the camera there. I'll try and zoom in on it, but the way it uses its tail to as a rudder to steer itself, such a beautiful animal. One of Wales's big success stories, the red kite. I think it was from 2 breeding pairs. We've now got hundreds, if not thousands, of them. I don't know how that goes for breeding though. Surely they must be breeding with each other's cousins. But there we are, enough to say that. Maybe they were originally from Texas. Hey! Right, well that one had been out there quite some time and nothing had even touched the worms. So the tide is on the turn though, it's starting to go out now. But what I'm going to do now, I've got loads of worms here. A little bit too many really for one session. So I probably will have another session tomorrow. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use baiting elastic, and I'm going to put about 3 worms on each hook. So I'm going to take these old ones off, and I'll just, what I'll do with these, I'll use them as tip it off with for the cast. So let me show you how I'm going to do that now. Let's grab 3 worms. 1, 2, yeah, there's 3 worms there. Baiting elastic there. So I'm not going to use the baiting needle. So I'm going to start the worm off. I'm terrible at putting worms on. And just get them on enough like that, and then start the next one. Just get them around the corner like that. So I've got, pull him over this little green thing. I'm not doing a very good job of it, Jurglin. Oh well. That's the only problem with these stupid green things that are on this this Royale setup. Right, that one's worked better. I'm not going to waste that worm that's fallen off, and again I'm going to do it with this one. That's those 3. Find the one that fell off. I think it's this one. Right, so I've got 3 worms now. Now I want to hook the tails through. So 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails. I'm going to pull this all up now nice and tight. So it looks a bit of a mess there at the minute, but now we're going to get the baiting elastic, and baiting elastic, and we're going to turn that into a bit of a sort of meaty, bloody sausage. So we'll start at the top. And we'll come round. All the way down, even onto the hook. Now what this will also do is help with the cast, so when I cast this will all stay in place. That's the theory. Go to quite a few winds. Right, so that's one done. Right, I'm going to carry on and do the next one. That one wasn't very neat, but I'll try and do a better job of the next one. In fact, I'll actually use the baiting needle just to get this started. So, I want one, and I want it through to about there. So I'll show you. So, through to about there. So that's 2. I want a smaller worm now, although I think these are all pretty big worms. Through to about there. So I've got about 1 inch on each one. Grab the hook. I want to slide these all on. So I'll do them one at a time. That's the first one on. That's the second. These are going on much better now. I should really have used the baiting needle first off. Right, so that's those 3 on there now. And again, we just need to hold them down like that. Work out where the tails are going to be. So that one can go here. And that one's a little bit on the short, so I need to pull that back down a little bit. So that's the sort of effect we're looking for. Got a load of worms on there now. Pull them up a little bit. And now we're baiting elastic that now. You can see the effect now. It's more like a nice big fat bloody sausage. Right, get the last few on twists on there. Right, so that's the baiting done. Try and tidy it up a little bit. So you do want the hook to be able to be seen. It's a little bit on the tight side there. That'll do. That's better. That hook's pronounced. That hook's quite pronounced as well. Right, so now when I cast, I don't have to worry about anything falling off. So I'm just going to wash my hands because that is quite a mucky way. And the other thing is that bait can now stay in the water 20 minutes, 25 minutes, even half an hour. There's going to be a good bit of bait on there. Crab's not going to be able to pull them all off in one go. So let's give this one a whack out then. Check the lead's all good. Do the baiting cannon. I'm enjoying this baiting cannon as well. This is good. I'm liking this a lot. Okay, now you loaded the baiting cannon, turn the bail arm over, and we're ready to cast. Lovely. Nice little cast right into the edge of the water up there. Put a little bit of pressure on the rod, and I think what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to put my bell on the rod. So let's just drop it down a little bit, and that way if I hear the bell I know that something's having a bite. And that'll do. I can just go and sit down and chill out now. Got a nice little seat over here. So tide's on its way out. That's normally when the fish start coming back through from up the marsh and coming out. So now is as good a time as any. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I'm waiting about. Well, I think that one's been out there long enough now. We'll bring it in, we'll see what sort of state it's in. I say I've only had that one bite. Definitely nothing on yet. A shame, that's the way it is sometimes. we'll rebait this up now. We'll have a look at what sort of state we're in. Thing is, I might just cheat a bit and just wrap another worm onto these ones. But as you can see, the bait stayed fairly well on there. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to add another worm on and then wrap it up. Again, keep using this wrapping method. Right, let's put this back. Right, well, while I do that, I'm going to turn the camera off. Right then, guys, well, no fish today, few bites. Basically, I'm getting fed up out here now, although technically you could fish another 2 or 3 hours, well, 2 hours or another hour. The fish do sort of come out now, but I'm getting a bit bored. You know, if I'd caught 1 or 2 little tiddlers, I might have stayed on a little bit. But what I'm going to do now is I got a load of worms. I'm going to throw them, dig a hole, put them back in the sand. I'm not going to use them in the next couple of days. I think next time we'll either be out in the kayak, like these guys out there, or I'll be out spinning, because I've got the new spinning setup that I need to really get out and test. But anyway, thank you for joining me today. Oh, let's have an update. The casting cannon, great success. Yeah, I see it's 90 degrees to there. I've seen one guy putting his up here and then wrapping it around a few times, but I thought I'll go with what most people say to do. And even if you are coming over, you know, it does look a bit ganky and a bit sort of a bit of a mess, but it works. Like I say, I don't know if you can see that, you just put that round there and then you hold the trigger in like that, and then when you cast, as soon as you get to your apex 45 degrees, you just let your finger off, which kind of happens naturally anyway. So if anything, I've got to test out the bait cannon, which I really like, so it'll be staying on the rod, that's for definite. And until the next one, hopefully we'll get a little more fishies on the next one. Anyway, you're all beautiful people. This is Glyn, Cheapskate Fishing. I'm out of here. Bye now.